Lewis Hamilton defends Kimi Antonelli's F1 performance. Lewis Hamilton throws his support behind Kimi Antonelli. Is the F1 world being too harsh on the young Italian? In a shocking turn of events, seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton has come to the defense of Kimi Antonelli, the young Italian driver who has been facing immense pressure and criticism for his recent performances in the Formula One circuit. Despite a tough run of form, Hamilton believes that Antonelli is doing fantastic in his debut season, and it's hard not to agree with him. Antonelli, who joined Mercedes at the start of 2025, has been under the microscope since his move to the top-tier racing series. With only one season of Formula 2 under his belt, the 18-year-old was thrust into the spotlight, replacing none other than Hamilton himself, who made the switch to Ferrari. The expectations were sky-high, and Antonelli initially delivered, securing 5 points finishes in the first 6 races, including a podium in Canada. However, things took a turn for the worse, and Antonelli's results began to dwindle. A collision with Max Verstappen on the opening lap in Austria, followed by non-scoring finishes in Great Britain and Belgium, raised concerns about his ability to handle the pressure. The Italian's emotional response in the media pen after the Belgian Grand Prix only added fuel to the fire. But here's where it gets interesting. Hamilton, who has been in Antonelli's shoes before, believes that the young driver is doing a great job considering the circumstances. "I can't imagine what it's like at 18, or try to imagine what it's like at 18 to do what he's been doing," Hamilton told Sky Sports F1. "He didn't even have his driving license when he started racing, so I think it's a lot on someone's shoulders, and I think he's doing a great job." Hamilton's comments raise an important question. Are we being too harsh on Antonelli? Is it fair to expect a young driver, barely out of his teenage years, to perform at the highest level without giving him the time and space to learn and grow? The answer, much like Antonelli's future in F1, remains uncertain. One thing is for sure, though. Antonelli has a great team behind him, including Pete Bonington, Hamilton's former race engineer. With the right guidance and support, there's no reason why Antonelli can't bounce back from his recent setbacks and prove his doubters wrong. So, what do you think? Is Kimi Antonelli being given a fair chance to prove himself in F1, or is the pressure too much for him to handle? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Antonelli's struggles as Mercedes car changes hurt his confidence. Imagine the frustration of a young, talented driver like Kimi Antonelli, who's suddenly struggling to keep up with his experienced teammate George Russell. The culprit? Mercedes' 2025 car, which has been causing more headaches than high fives. But here's where it gets controversial. Is the car really to blame, or is it Antonelli's lack of experience that's holding him back? Trackside engineering director Andrew Shovlin weighs in, and his insights. Shovlin believes that the car's recent changes have played a significant role in Antonelli's loss of confidence. "I think what you've seen in the recent qualifyings is that George is leaning on his many years of experience in an F1 car to try and make the most of a difficult car when it comes to qualifying. Kimi hasn't got that to drop back on, and that's probably why you've seen a bit of a shift in his results recently," Shovlin explains. But it's not all doom and gloom. Shovlin is confident that the team can solve the problem. "It is quite likely something that we've changed on the car, and we just need to recover a bit of, just get back to a baseline where it's working more normally," he says. And this is the part most people miss. The team is fully aware that the car's weaknesses are the real issue, not Antonelli's struggles. "We're finding quite a lot of time during the session. It's just because George is learning to know when can he trust the car and you can lean on it. But he's not getting that feeling from it inherently. He's just having to work out where will it actually stick and where won't it," Shovlin adds. So, what does this mean for Antonelli? Shovlin believes that the car developments this year have moved the W16 away from its consistent level of performance. But he's quick to point out that the team has full faith in Antonelli's abilities. Kimi's on a steep learning curve, and he's going to be getting better as a driver. The fact that his early performances were better than they are now is almost certainly that the car's not as competitive, and you can see that mirrored in George's results, Shovlin says. But here's where it gets interesting. Shovlin suggests that what helps Russell will also help Antonelli, and it might even help Antonelli more. "We've seen enough from Kimi to know that there's a great deal of talent there, but what will help George will also help Kimi. and it will probably help Kimi more, he concludes. So what do you think? Is the car really to blame for Antonelli's struggles, or is it his lack of experience? And how do you think Mercedes can help Antonelli regain his confidence? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get the conversation started. Mercedes F1 struggles, Kimi Antonelli's frustration, and Mercedes mistakes. Mercedes faces challenges, Kimi Antonelli's frustration amid development issues. In a candid assessment, James Allison, the technical director of Mercedes, has acknowledged that the team has encountered significant missteps in the development of their Formula One car. These errors have directly impacted the performance of their young Italian driver, Kimi Antonelli, who is still finding his footing in the highly competitive world of F1. At just 18 years old, Antonelli made headlines by securing a third-place finish in Canada this past June, marking his first podium in Formula One. However, his subsequent performances have been disappointing as he has struggled to score points since that race. Following his promising debut, he faced 2 retirements and finished 17th in a sprint race in Belgium, followed by a 16th place in the main Grand Prix on Sunday. Despite his early success, including achieving a sprint pole position in Miami and becoming the youngest race leader in the sport's history, Antonelli has faced a challenging few races. He has retired from 4 out of the last 7 races and openly expressed his lack of confidence in the car during a recent interview in Belgium, stating that he is not driving to the best of his abilities. Allison empathized with Antonelli's frustrations, saying, "Like the rest of us, he is understandably fed up with a series of results that fall short of our earlier achievements this season." He reassured Antonelli that the team recognizes their mistakes in car development, which have hindered their competitiveness, affecting both him and his teammate George Russell. If the car isn't performing as it should, it becomes increasingly difficult to navigate the qualifying rounds, especially for a rookie in their first season in Formula One. Allison explained, he emphasized that it is clear to everyone involved that improvements are necessary, and he is hopeful that Antonelli's situation will improve as the car evolves. Currently, Mercedes sits in 3rd place in the championship standings, trailing Ferrari by 28 points. Russell has managed to secure 1 victory in Canada and has reached the podium 5 times, accumulating 157 points, while Antonelli has 63 points. Support from a champion. Adding to the narrative, 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, who previously occupied the seat now held by Antonelli, has shown his support for the young driver. After qualifying at Spa, Hamilton encouraged Antonelli to maintain his spirits, reminding him that experiencing tough weekends is a normal part of racing, and to keep believing in himself. Hamilton reflected on Antonelli's situation, stating, "He has been doing remarkably well. However, being thrust into such a demanding environment at just 18 years old is no small feat. He hadn't even obtained his driving license when he first began racing." What are your thoughts? As Mercedes navigates these challenges, it raises questions about the pressures faced by young drivers in Formula One. Do you think the team can turn things around for Antonelli? Or is the pressure too much for a rookie? Share your thoughts in the comments.